Well, first of all, let me just say that my name is Michael M. Leonard, Sr. I'm a criminal justice consultant, motivational speaker, and author. My book just came out called Youth, Gangs, and God. And part of the reason for me writing the book is because I felt there's some misunderstanding of the community and of the gangs and of gang membership. One of the real problems is really having a definition of what a gang is. Because some kids are telling, oh, Dad, you know, that's not a gang, those are just my friends. Or that's just my posse. Or those are just my hoods, you know, my gang, you know. But they don't want to put it in the frame of what a real, true gang is. The problem is that a gang must have an organizational name, must claim territory or turf. The gang must meet on a consistent basis, and most importantly, it must be involved in criminal activity. And that's the gangs that I'm concerned with. Any gang, any group of kids, and it could consist of 2 or more even, kids that are involved in criminal activity can be considered by law enforcement status a gang. And that's what we're talking about today. Here in Monroe County, I know that some of the papers have reported recently, even as far off as August in 2007, they mentioned that there were at least 90 gang members here in the Monroe County area. I would pose that there may be more than that now, because gangs are a business looking to grow. And one of the things that they do is they recruit kids into the gangs. How do they do it? They lure them by money, drugs, or sex. One of the areas I've talked with some of the school teachers and some of the parents, not only in the south of East Stroudsburg, but also in Northeast Stroudsburg. We did presentations, and the same concerns that exist in the south exist in the north, and that is that our children are may be co-opted into getting involved in gang activity. And so one of the things I'd like to talk about is how that happens. One way is through bullying, and we've got to realize that if one kid is bullying another kid, that kid may go out to get another group of kids that'll help him against this bully. Another way is that those kids are also in a process of actually formulating a group to combat another group who have already formulated. And it all stems back to the bullying, though. So we here in Monroe County must take a zero tolerance to bullying, just like we must take a zero tolerance to gang involvement or gang membership. And just like we have to also make sure that we read the graffiti, because the graffiti is what we call the newspaper of the streets. And if you're not reading the graffiti, then you don't know which gangs are actually holding down the community that you're living in. One of the things I used to do when my kids were in the school district here, I used to make sure that I go into the bathrooms. And not because I had a weak bladder, but because I wanted to make sure I wanted to read the graffiti in the bathrooms. If you look in any school, if you go into the bathrooms, you can see if there's graffiti there, those gangs will make sure they mark their territory in those areas. And I would go in to see if there was gangship membership there, if they were writing on the walls, who was writing on the walls. I wanted to make sure that there were no Xing out, which the Xing out means that there's going to be a gang rivalry, one gang moving in on the territory of another gang. And these are the concerns that we as parents really should look at. I don't know if you have, I would still venture to say that at least there's probably about 90% of our children who are not gang related, not gang involved at all. But I believe there is at least a 10% of that population who may be involved or may be getting scratching the surface of gang involvement. And what I call some of that population is called wannabes. And the wannabe is going to be. You and I both know that if we gear our children up to become doctors, and if those kids begin going to medical school, and if those kids begin hanging out with other medical students, the eventuality of them becoming the doctors are real. Well, the same exists on the gangship. If we allow our kids to hang out with kids who are gang affiliated, who are actually gang initiated, then eventually those kids are going to become the initiated. And this is why it should be a concern. This is why you should always monitor your own youth. Monitor those kids that are in your auspices. whether you're a parent, whether you're a school teacher, whether you're a coach, you need to know what's going on with the kids that are under your supervision. And if we all begin looking at our kids that are in our realm of supervision and monitoring and making sure that they're not involved, then eventually we can do away with the gang prospects of them getting involved in it. Is that a lot of people feel that the graffiti especially and the gangs from that graffiti were brought in. And I don't think Detroit or Chicago is sending their gangs here to the Monroe County to actually write their graffiti for them. There are homegrown gangs, and that's the stuff that we have to look at. Yes, little Tommy, who lives next door, and I'm just using that proverbial name, not that I know anybody by that name, but you know, that little boy next door could be also creating his own gang. And we've even got videos and stuff like that where we've seen parents are away at work, the kids cut school, go back to the house, and in the basements are doing their gang initiations, or doing their gang drugging, or doing their hanging out in their hooky parties. And this is why it's so important that the village take the responsibility of raising a child, so that everybody in that community must take ownership for those children who live in their community. The other thing is we have to watch out and make sure that we understand that the homegrown gang is just as violent, just as dangerous as the gangs who come out of the prison system, or the gangs that come from the East Coast, West Coast gangs. There are two different types of gangs. There's the People Nation gang, and then there's the Folk Nation gang. And whether your kid is lining up with the Folk Nation, which is what they call the number 6 is their powerful number, or the People Nation, which the number 5s are their powerful number. If they're lining up with either one of these numbers, it's a problem, because your kid is flirting with gangship. And that's what we want to stop. We want to make sure that we're up on that. As parents, as concerned parents, you need to really take an active role in your child's life. One of the areas that you really should do is making sure that after school that kid has some serious activities that he or she could get involved in. I find that most kids who are involved in sports or some type of recreation or some type of sports competition really don't have time to get involved in gangs. And so that's one recommendation that we'd like to make, is that you get your kids involved in sports and sports activities. The other thing is you want to make sure that that kid, even if he's not sports or athletically inclined, that you're occupying most of his free time. And as parents, we're responsible for being involved in our kids' lives and getting involved in their activities. You know, if you ask a kid, did he do his homework, and you don't check on whether that kid did his homework or not, 9 times out of 10, that kid probably did not do his homework. So we always have to have checks and balances. If you look at our government, it was based upon that. That's why you have a executive branch, a legislative branch, and a judicial branch of government. Well, it's the same at your home. You know, the father's like the executive branch, the mother's the judicial, and the kids are the legislative, because they're either making the law or breaking the law. And we're going to make sure that that group stays intact and that there are checks and balances all over. So one of the things that I would first recommend is that, you know, I know it's hard because this is a time where there's a 2-parent household who has to go to work because of the rate increases and gasoline and all this other stuff that's going up. But even in that, you must make time for your children. And you must spend time with your kids doing activities that they can enjoy. Otherwise, as Bob Hillman would say, the kids are living in a grass in a grass lockup. You know, and you don't want this to be a grass lockup for your children. You want this to be a peaceful, loving place that we all chose to move our children here for the peace and love that it really represents. And we want to keep it and maintain it that way.